Personal Development Framework. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of you for your responses that I received from the last video. This is video 2 of a 3-part video series, and as in the first video, I'd like you to please put your comment below. Now, in the last video, I showed you why you need a PDP or personal development plan and how a personal development plan can help you. Now, in case you missed it, a personal development plan is an invaluable tool for your growth and development. The areas that I normally cover are your career, your business, your education, and your personal life. But for the personal development plan, I'll largely focus on your career and business. While it could be used for other areas, these are the 2 areas where it is the most useful. Now, in this video, I'm actually going to teach you a mind map personal development program, which is different to the normal linear tables that you might find online, or if you're working for an organization, they probably gave you a table to fill in. This is going to change things around a bit and show you how you can use a mind map to make it visual and have your whole personal development plan on one page. I also wanted to base it on sound principles, and the principles have been discussed in conjunction with an industrial and organizational psychologist. I will also give you a personal development plan template to get you started. So now let's have a high-level overview of what a personal development plan is. It documents what you need to improve. Then, for improvement to take place, you actually need to know where you are now and where you want to be. And this is exactly what your personal development plan is going to be. It will show you the transformation that can take place in you. You must see it as a journey and a map of where you want to go. And I like to do this in a way that's easy to learn, simple to use, and produces fast results. So the first video, this one, will be around a high-level PDP, and the next video will be around the detailed terrain that you need to navigate in implementing this personal development plan. And I will also show you the interventions that you can put in place to help you execute your plan more effectively. Competencies. Now, the whole personal development plan that I'm going to show you is based on competencies, and there's a reason for this. But before you understand why, let me tell you what a competency is. A competency is your ability to perform at a certain level, and it is key to your development. Competencies are often used with job definitions and job descriptions, and organizations generally try to match candidates to positions. And the way they do this is looking at the competencies required for a job and looking at the competencies that a candidate has, and they try to map these competencies. And competencies, they are also used to evaluate performance, to consider people for promotions, etc. If you're applying for a new job, you need to think about your competencies. And even if you want to earn more money, competencies are the way to do that. So therefore, it's important that you understand your own competencies and how it maps to the requirements of where you want to be. That's a basic overview of competencies. Now, therefore, we've decided to create a personal development plan that uses a competency framework. And the competency framework is actually a pyramid. And this is the pyramid that is used in many competency manuals. The base of this pyramid is based around your abilities and your personality. And those things are often inherent in the way in your makeup, and it's very difficult to change. The other 3, your skills, your knowledge, and your behavior, these can be changed by means of various means like training or mentoring, etc. And we'll cover that in a bit more detail as things go along. So that's the basic pyramid of a competency model. I've taken these principles of this competency framework and actually put it into a mind map, into the categories of a mind map. As I mentioned before, your personality and abilities are difficult to change. Your knowledge, skills, and behavior are easy to change. And Also, functions are generally based on certain required competencies. That's why we're doing this whole competency framework. To make things easier for you, I've actually taken this competencies and put it into a mind map. And it's a simple mind map template like this, by which you can actually map your competencies in these various categories. As you can see, it's a visual map on one page. And I'll take you a bit through the details so that you can actually expand on this and still have a nice visual mind map on one page. Mapping competencies. I've taken this from the Handbook of Competency Mapping. It's actually a book, and most organizations try to map the competencies of what they need to the competencies of the person, or vice versa, the competencies of the person to what they require. And the best way to show this is via an example, because you must, if I asked you, what competencies do you need in your current job? You probably won't know. Or if you're lucky, you do. So luckily there is a fantastic online website that can actually help you and guide you mapping out your competencies. And the way to do this is actually look at the competencies you require in your field, list the ones that you think needs improvement, and then put them onto the PDP template that I've given you under the correct category. So let's take a look at the actual website. The website is Own It. You can Google Own It or go to ownitonline.org. I have it open in a browser already. This is what it looks like. And there are many ways of using it. I'm going to show you one way. The easiest way to do it is to use the quick search on the right hand side, the top right hand side. And I typed in a computer programmer as the job we're going to explore. So I type in computer programmer and click on the search button. It will open up a list of searches of job titles related to computer programmer, as you can see over here. And to make things simple, I'm going to go into the first one. There we go. We've now got a summary report for computer programmers. And let's look at this website in a bit more detail. As you can see, it first lists the tasks that needs to be done by a computer programmer. It summarizes the tasks, or it summarizes each one of the topics, and you can click on the plus sign to actually see more details of any one of these headings. For example, those are the tasks. Here are the tools and technology that you may need. Knowledge. The knowledge is one of the first competencies on your competency personal development plan. You saw I have a category for knowledge, so you can list down the knowledge that you'd like to improve within the field that you've chosen. Then skills is another one. You look at the skills that a computer programmer needs in this case, and have a look at it and see which skills you think you'd like to improve in the following year. The same thing goes for abilities. This is more innate characteristics, etc. And you'll find that some of the abilities that you have, innate abilities, are natural, and some you actually need some improvement. So list the ones you'd like to improve, or even the ones that come natural. If you want to improve that to gain an even bigger competitive advantage, you can do the same. But the main thing is to list those abilities. And likewise with the rest of the information over here. You'll find there's even things like your interests and your work style and your work values, etc., which actually can help you fill your personal development plan in better. Now, once you've got this written down and captured it on your personal development plan, we'll go to the next step. The next step is to rate your competencies. Now, having your competencies listed is one thing, but knowing where you are is very important, because with any journey, you need to actually know where you starting from and where you're going to end up, and then you can map a plan. Now, I've decided to give you a rather simple scale, and I've deliberately made it 4 and not 5 so that you don't choose the middle road, because so many people choose the middle road, either have an odd number. Look at the competencies that you listed via the previous instruction that I gave you. You have them on your mind map, hopefully. You would have gone over here, and under each of these categories, you would have listed the competencies that you'd like to improve. Then come back and actually rate them. Are you a beginner, intermediate, advanced, or expert? So where are you now? How do you rate yourself? Then ask yourself, where do you want to be? This is often more difficult than you realize, but please make a stab at it. You can't be an expert at every level, so choose the ones that you want to be really good at, and the other ones that you can just improve by one notch, and others you may want to just leave as is for now. But I'll rather get you down to a few competencies that you'd like to improve than have a long list that you cannot execute. Take this rating for each one of them and put it onto the mind map template. Now you can have an informal evaluation of where you are based on your own opinion or the opinion of others, or you can actually formalize your evaluation if you want to. You can have some tests done, you can consult an advisor. Another formal, I would say maybe semi-formal means of evaluation is a 360-degree evaluation. That's when you speak to people around you, perhaps the people that you report to, or the people who report to you, if you have people reporting to you, and also your peers. You may, and by getting input from all these various people at different levels, you will actually have a 360-degree evaluation of yourself. This often works well with areas around interpersonal skills that you'd like to improve, because that's more visible than some of the other skills. So that's how you can do a more formalized evaluation of yourself. As I said early on, the first two are difficult to change, your personality and your abilities, because your innate abilities, those are how you've been wired as a child or in your DNA. And you may need expert evaluation for this. For example, you could go to an organizational psychologist or do some psychometric tests. And we can also help you with this. As I mentioned before, my wife Jasmine is an industrial and organizational psychologist, and we can administer some of these tests. And I'll give you a link at the end of this in case you want to evaluate yourself more formally. We can even give you a personalized written report if you want. Then the last three, this is where I really want you to focus on. It's because it's easier to change your knowledge, your skills, and your behavior. You can probably evaluate yourself, and there are also tests available if you want to, but it's easier for you to evaluate yourself and actually set your targets and goals according to these three. Now, once you've done this, what will you have? You will have a high level PDP, and it will be grouped. It is grouped because it's easier for the brain to manage, and that's the way mind maps work. It groups things into categories and hierarchies, because association and hierarchies are the way the brain works and makes it easier to remember. And that's the main principles behind a mind map and why I want you to do a mind map personal development plan. Also, add images wherever you can, because visuals also give your brain a hook to remember, because the brain is largely a visual organ. I've given you a start with some images on the personal development plan. Take some time to add some of your own. The easiest way to do it is to use Google Images if it's for personal use, not for commercial use. Take the Google Images, copy the images, and paste it onto your mind map, and you'll quickly be able to put together a visual personal development plan, especially if you're using mind mapping software. Then what you'll end up with, you'll know what needs improvement, you'll know your current level, and you know your desired level where you want to be. This shows the transformation that can take place in you, and that is the basis of a solid plan. Now, how do you use this PDP that you've just done? Well, I suggest that you create an image. If you're using software, export an image from your software. You can save it to your desktop. You can print it. You can even laminate it. You can even enlarge it and put it on the wall as a poster to look at on a daily basis. But put it somewhere where you can see every day. You can see it every day because it will burn it into your subconscious mind, and your brain will naturally be able to track it. And especially if you looking at your progress, you can see, okay, am I making progress every day? And the categories are very, very visible to you in a mind map. You can also take the mind map, whether you use software initially or not, and do a hand-drawn mind map. This is more personalized and as is more involvement. And take this hand-drawn mind map, put it in color, and actually have it laminated and put it against the wall. Either way you want to do it is fine by me, but this is some suggestions for you to use your PDP because it must be a working document. Otherwise, it is actually useless. Okay, so now that you've got a personal development plan, a high-level personal development plan, and you've probably saved and have an image of it, what are the next steps? Firstly, if you haven't done so already, download the PDP template using the links I've given you. Take some time out to put together your high-level plan. Type in the job area that you'd like to improve on the ONET online website. Look at the knowledge, skills, values, etc. that it comes up with for the particular area that you'd like to improve. Put it onto your mind map, and then you would have completed your first phase of your personal development plan. Also leave some comments. Tell me what's working, what's not. I'm really keen to hear your input because I'm very passionate about this, and I really, really think that a mind map personal development plan changes the way personal development plans work. It changes the way you see your personal development plan and also embeds it into your mind. Now in the next video, I'm going to give you the interventions that you can put in place for each of the areas that you've identified and how to go about designing an actual execution plan for your personal development plan. Well, that's all I have for now. I hope you liked this and enjoyed it, and I hope that you actually apply what I've said and put together your own personal development plan. I will see you in the next video.